since Rajdeep, you said that, we shouldn't be looking at it as a win or a loss. Let's at least address the other question here of what really started this conflict, or who started this conflict to you, Rajdeep? Because Israel says that, look, it was started in October 2023. There are some who say that Israel started it with suddenly launching this operation out of the blue.
Look, I think, to find a trigger point in a highly volatile region like the Middle East, which has seen so much of war and conflict over the years, is very difficult. The Iranian state has taken upon itself to almost be a defender of the faith, take on Israel. They've spoken openly of annihilating Israel. Debt to America has been heard on the streets of Iran, which I find unacceptable. Similarly, the manner in which Israel has responded, for example, in Gaza, I find unacceptable. Complete violation of international law. And therefore, to my mind, even that question as to who started it off, we can go back in history as to where it started. We can go look at the Palestinian problem on multiple issues. I think West Asia remains extremely turbulent. So I think who started it? Certainly this round was started by Israel. Let's make no doubt about it, by Operation Rising Lion 2 Fridays ago. But the Israelis could well turn around and say it's the Iranians who targeted them last year. So I'm reluctant to say kisne shuru kiya. That's also like who won the toss. This is not the way to look at it. This is historical. Let's look at it in the historical context in which these conflicts take place.
Gaurav, do you think so too, that you can't really point fingers at anyone in such a sensitive time and in this kind of a conflict?
So, in war, there are no winners. In war, everyone's a loser. And that is why it should be diplomacy to find any solution to any problem. Point one. Point two, I find it a little strange that we believe Donald Trump when he says he brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, but we don't believe Donald Trump when he says Israel won and Iran surrendered. So we are very selective in when we choose to believe Donald Trump. That's point two. Point three, I want to be very clear. As Rajdeep very rightly pointed out, every war has aims. Who was able to achieve their aim, and in this case, Israel has been able to achieve a large number of its stated aims, from the point of degrading, targeting Fordo and Isfahan and Natanz and multiple other. There were over 100 targets inside Iran that were neutralized, both military and nuclear. Almost 20 of the 22 top generals have been neutralized. I think 11 of 13 of their top nuclear scientists have been neutralized. A lot of their military capabilities in terms of production of missiles, launching of missiles, that's been neutralized. A third of their arsenal has gone. So that way, the fact
objectives
that
met.
Some certain objectives met, certain objectives will take more time. As they say, did Donald Trump force a ceasefire on Israel and Iran like he's alleged to have forced a ceasefire here? Well, either ways, Iran would have received more punishment and Pakistan would have received more punishment in terms of the military might of the two adversaries. Iran was able to hit back, and no doubt, very proud people, a very old civilization, but no civilization, and especially if you've been such an old civilization, should you wish total annihilation of another people. That's completely unacceptable. And their entire, that ring fence of Houthi, Hamas, Hezbollah, they've been neutralized. As Bashar al-Assad, lost Syria. All of that just goes on to show that Iran has been able to survive to fight another day, but Israel has been able to make a very big point.
Quick
very quickly, just some more breaking news coming in. Since we started with Donald Trump, says conflict between Israel and Iran could start again, perhaps soon. So, and let me tell you a bit of news that a source, a diplomatic source told me. When it came to India, Pakistan, the Saudis played a role. When it came to Iran, Israel, the Qataris played a role. And at some stage, all of this will come out. We can try and shroud it in secrecy. We can try and shroud it in rhetoric. Eventually, a lot of this will slowly but surely come out. And I hope it does come out. And I hope it does, because then Gaurav and I next time will be able to have a debate based on facts.
We always have debates based on facts, and the fact remains.
I think
at the moment, we've got post-truth leaders, none of whom I trust.
Fact I trust our government when it comes to a
Okay,
war with
all right, this
Pakistan.
will-
But
this
I
will-
have to tell you this.
Okay.
The fact remains 11 Pakistan Air Force bases were decimated. Multiple radar stations were decimated. Pakistan cannot use a large number of those air bases even
Yes.
today. So these are hard facts. And these are the facts that prompted Pakistan to seek a ceasefire. Otherwise, the next round, perhaps Operation Sindoor is still on. That next round will be worse for Pakistan.